Oh boy, and we're here. Hopefully this is live and you guys are seeing this. Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Welcome to lesson 13 of the BiCrafty Bootcamp. I cannot believe we're already this far in. It's pretty exciting stuff. So as you guys are joining in, make sure you say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're coming from. And we're going to talk. I'm going to finish up putting all of the links right now into the video description box below. Has the link for today's instructions. It's been a slow day, everybody. It's been a slow day. I'm not even gonna, this is totally my fault. The reason everything's not up is completely my fault. I had every intention of getting the instructions written up and ready to go for Catherine to get up there, and it just didn't work out. And so I was able to finally get everything finished today. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just publish it right before we go live, so that way everybody can follow along with me as we're going live and talk about stuff then. So I am clicking save right now on the video description edits, and we will see how things go there. So many of you here tonight to say hello. I don't have Catherine or Chrissy here tonight. Chrissy is at church right now, and Catherine, I am not sure where Catherine is. I don't know if she remembered tonight or not. Not really sure. So we'll see if she happens to pop in later on or not. But those of you who don't know, I have been filming this week with Robin Chichula here in the studio right over there. I don't know where she went. She went somewhere. And we are filming the BiCrafty Games workshop, you guys. So we're filming all the stuff right now for the crochet shawl that Robin has designed for the BiCrafty Games. Oh, there she is.
Hi, everybody.
There she is.
Have a lot of fun. I'm playing in all the yarn. I'm gonna run.
All right. She's eating ice cream. Don't let her fool you. So all right. Yeah, and playing with yarn, ice cream and yarn. Her life is rough. So I love her little laugh. It just cracks me up completely. So anyways, she's teaching the crochet shawl that she's designed. I'm going to teach the knit shawl I've designed. I haven't even gotten a chance to get in front of the camera yet because mine is still in the work in progress stage. I have all my swatches. I don't know if you guys can't see, but right over here, I have all my swatches all pinned out, blocking, because I was blocking out the stitch patterns that I wanted to use for the BiCrafty. We're calling it the BiCrafty Champions Workshop is actually the official name. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we've been working hard doing that. And in the process of working really hard to do that, I completely forgot about the next section of the BiCrafty Complementary Hat. Just thought I'd be absolutely honest with you about that. So I'm sorry for the delay. That's the full story. That's the trick. So here's what I'm thinking. Because we are really to the point of the hat that we would want to start the crown, as we finish this next section of the hat where we're going to learn how to do 2-stitch cables. So very simple cables, but you learn the cable technique. We're going to learn 2-stitch cables, and we are not creating a standard cable or a traditional cable. We're creating what's called a fractured lattice cable, which actually looks very similar to just doing like knit two togethers and SSKs and such, like we did with the lace. But we're doing 2-stitch sort of traveling stitches, fractured lattice cables, because you know what? They're different. That's why we're doing it. We're doing it because we're different, and because you'll be able to take the knowledge of learning how to do this cable. Traditional ones out there. There's a lot of patterns out there. As a matter of fact, the turkey trot Ruana that we made over Thanksgiving this year is a great example of a wonderful cable piece you could make if you are really interested in cables. Not only that, the steeked sweater, the steeked cardigan with pockets that we just did, I finished that up last week. That actually has some very simple 4-stitch cables right down the raglan, so it's a very easy thing to do. I know that there are some of you right now in this BiCrafty Bootcamp that are over there making your first sweater. Like, you just learned to knit and you're making a sweater and you're posting about it on the Facebook group, and people are like, they're like losing their crap. They're like, I cannot believe this is like your first sweater and that you just started knitting and you're going to do this and you're doing the steeking and you're doing all the things. And I'm like, that's how we roll here at BiCrafty. Confident. We've given you hopefully all the skills you need to be confident in what you need to do, because we've taught you how to read your knitting. We've taught you how to read your pattern. We've taught you how to do all the different things. And of course, there's so much more to learn as you become more and more experienced. But we've given you a really great foundation for the start of your knitting career. I hope you guys feel the same way. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look here. Hi, Julia, and hi, Tracy. A lot of you here saying hello. That is so nice. I'm able to finally come over here and see this. The chat finally is popping up for me, and I say that now, and now all of a sudden it's not there. It all went away. So I'm gonna put it back over here. Hi, Diane, and Mary, and Marion, and Shayna, and Donna, Lunesra. Let's see, Laura, and Monique, and Jan, and another Donna, and Laura, and Cindy, and Alicia, and Daphne. Oh my gosh, you guys, Michaela, and Chelsea, and Christy Bostic. Hi, Christy. And Sydney, and Susan, and Proverbs 31, and Lisa, and Jennifer, and Joanne, and Christine, and Gail, and Mary. Oh my goodness, so many of you here. Hi guys, I am thrilled to have you here. How does it feel to be BiCrafty? You guys are absolutely knitters by this point. Like I've been telling you, you've been knitters since week 1, but I hope by now you're finally believing me, because it's amazing what you've done. Actually, I was showing Robin when I finally remembered I had to work on this. I was like, can you believe people are working on this and they've only been knitting for like, this is our 13th week. And she's like,
no, I couldn't believe it. Like, not at all. You guys are amazing. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's good stuff, right?
Oh, it's awesome.
It's good stuff. So I'm loving this. If you guys can see the little purple up here, that's what we're going to be working on tonight. I'm going to work on the last 4 rounds of the purple, and then we're going to jump to the blue or whatever color you're using and work in seed stitch for the crown. I am so impressed by everything, and there are so many people who are like, your beginners did not do a Latvian braid. And I was like, check yourself. We totally did. And they're like, your beginners did not do stranded knitting. I was like, BS. Yes, they did. You know, your beginners did not do lace. I was like, lace? That's like nobody's business. We got that. Not a problem. And so tonight we're going to do cables. So when people are like, your beginners didn't do cables, I'm like, yes, they did. And they did the crown of the hat, and we finished the hat and the cowl and the mug rugs and the coffee cozy. I mean, we've done all the things. Like, you guys are amazing. So really quickly, give your guys yourselves a round of applause, because you're doing amazing. You're cracking me up over here. She's over here clapping for all of you guys. That is so great. That is so great. I love it. I love it. So many of you here, they're just so happy. They're so excited to see you here, Robin. It's really awesome. All right, so I have my camera all set up, ready to go. I did put a link to the instructions we're going to follow today. Now, if you're catching this live, you're going to notice that the instructions are really bare bones. Like, the blog post has not been zhuzhed by Catherine yet. It literally just has the instructions for what we're doing. Catherine will go in there later on, and she'll add all the extra tidbits about how to do cables and the instructions and links for cables. And she'll put in there all the stuff regarding, you know, the crown of the hat and the shaping and blah, 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 blah. She does all that wonderful stuff. We haven't had time to do that. As I said, it's because I am totally running late on all this. So I just created the blog post, and I just put the instructions up there for right now. So that's where we are. Once I finish my hat, I'm actually going to publish the hat and the cowl together as a set, a all-inclusive PDF pattern that doesn't have ads to it. So that will be available to you, all of you out there. And if you are part of the newsletter for the BiCrafty Bootcamp, you will get a coupon code for a discount on that pattern. So make sure, if you are not yet part of the newsletter for the BiCrafty Bootcamp, sign up. It is available. The link is on the main blog post for the BiCrafty Bootcamp over at marleybird.com. This is a separate newsletter from all of the others. I know it gets confusing, guys, but we wanted to make sure we have a specific newsletter just for the boot campers. So when you sign up for the BiCrafty Bootcamp, newsletter, when I put this pattern out for sale, all of you BiCrafty boot campers will get a discount coupon that you will keep private. You will keep it to yourselves because you are only getting it because you're part of BiCrafty Bootcamp. So that way you can go and get the ad-free PDF for the BiCrafty Complementary Hat and the BiCrafty community cowl and all of that stuff. All right, guys, I think I've talked quite a bit. So I am going to plug in my headphones here so that way I can switch over to my hand cam and get full screen there. And while I'm doing that, make sure you guys have smashed that like button so far. Don't forget that that is the best way for you to show your support and love for the Marley Bird YouTube channel, is to always click that like button, comment on the videos, not just here on the live, although I do love the live comments. Make sure you comment on the videos, and if you watch the video all the way through, that helps out a lot. So I know sometimes I jibber jabber quite a bit, and you can be like, oh my gosh, I just want to knit, I just want to crochet. If you just kind of let it run in the background, that's always fantastic. And then of course, sharing is caring. Tell your friends about me. That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna mute this one. We're gonna go to the hands. We're gonna jump in. Show of hands out there, how many of you have gotten the link to the instructions? As I mentioned, it's in the video description box below, okay? So make sure you click that. And we are going to be using our double pointed needles tonight too, so make sure you have those on hand. All right, so I'm looking for your show of hands out there. Let me pop out the chat and see if this works this time for the pop out chat. There we go. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm gonna mute myself here. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me on my hands? Let's make sure it's on the hands. Alrighty. So here is the hat right now. You guys did the Latvian braid, which we will go back and fix this. We're actually just going to take some blue yarn and we're going to come up and just connect the two. I think it's blue. I have to remember. I have to go back and always look to remind myself how to do that. But we have our stranded knitting. We have our lace knitting. That's what we did last week. And I did it so it kind of had that triangle look to mimic the triangles we did down here. And then I wanted to do something up here that was triangle-esque, which was a little bit tricky with cables because cables tend to be like ropes, right? That's kind of what we think about when we think of traditional cables. And you might be looking at this and think, well, that's not really a cable, Marley. Well, it is. These are 2-stitch cables. And you can see I have stitches traveling across other stitches. And so we have this really cool, what's called fractured lattice look. Now you'll notice on the pattern, it gives the instructions for rows 1 through 8. And then I want you to repeat rows 1 through 4 one time. So what you're looking at right here is 1 through 8 completed. Okay. And when you're working in the round for this particular pattern, on round 7, we will create that very last cable right here with the first stitch of round 7 and the last stitch of round 7, which means that our stitch marker is right in between. So when you come to that particular stitch, what happens, this was the row before this, what would happen, let's pretend I was doing it right here. Like, so I would undo this one. Let's pretend this is where it was. All right, so we're coming up to the last stitch and it's time to do the cable. What you'll do is you'll move this, work your cable, like work the first half of the cable. So it's like this again. That'll make sense in a minute. Put your cable back on and then do this, or put the stitch marker back on and do the other half of the cable. So that way the marker is in between the cable essentially, because that's where we need it to be. We don't want the stitch marker to move, but by working this stitch pattern in the round, it requires us to move that or work 1 stitch over. Okay. I've already done round 8, which is just a knit round. So I'm getting ready to do round 1. So this was a great way, I thought, to start this video. I'm going to move this camera over a little. And that's where we are. All right, everybody says they got the instructions. That's awesome. And It should be that I'm on full view, but maybe I'm not. How about now? Am I on full view now? I'm trying, guys. It says I'm on, because I'm on mute. Let me try. There's a major delay, so that's why I'm kind of holding off here, because I can't tell. I put it on speaker view. Maybe that will help. There we go. I think, all right. That's how long the delay is, guys. So I just got it. Okay. All right, here we are. We're just seeing my hands. So once again, this is the 2-stitch cable we are going to be working. Okay. I'm going to pull up my instructions to make sure I'm following along with all of you. So the first thing you are going to do, if you remember, you finished with a purl round on the last round you did of the lace. So what I'll do is I'll have you cut your main color, leave a nice long tail. You guys know me. And we're going to work this section with our contrasting color. All right. So you're going to do one full round of just knitting. So go ahead and knit one full round with your contrasting color. The reason I have you do that is because when we go into the cable, you can see that the cable stitch is now a knit stitch from the row below to cross over, not a purl bump. So it's important we do that. However, I want to remind you guys on this knit round, you're also going to work an increase. We need 4 increases. So I wrote it out that you will knit 25 and then you'll do a make one, and then knit 25 and then do a make one. So we want to get to 104 stitches. And the reason we want to do that is because this stitch multiple up here is a multiple of 8. So we want to get to 104 stitches. All right. Everybody with me so far? Just making sure. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause here just for a second so you guys can get that first round, because I know a lot of you like to try and work around with me. Okay. Sue Wiley says, I missed the boot camp, but I am definitely going to start. Thank you. Hey, it's never too late to start. Never too late to start at all. Okay. All righty. Once you knit that round with those increases and you have 104 stitches, you're ready to start with round 1. And that's where I am. So I'm going to start with round 1. So whether you're reading the written instructions or the chart, here we go. I'm going to read the written instructions and I'll show you guys the chart afterwards to explain the stitch repeat. All right, so a cable to left. So we're going to jump in right here immediately with the cable stitch. Oh, I should probably get a cable needle because I don't use them. I don't grab them. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry. I totally forgot cable needle because I don't use it. So I forgot. Every single time, I always forget. Oh, it's all the way over here. Oh, crud. Goodness. There we go. Okay. All right, and I'm back. I don't use a cable needle, so I always forget to grab them. All right, so I'm going to pull out a signature cable needle just because I like them. Okay. So our goal here is a cable to left. What that means is we want the stitch right here, this first one, we want it to, it's going to lean to the left because we're going to move this stitch to a cable needle and hold it to the front of our work. Okay. Then we're going to knit the next stitch. Take this stitch that we have on the cable needle, put it back on our left-hand needle and knit that stitch. So essentially we just changed their places. You see that? You see how it looks like it leans to the left? That's why it's called a cable left. Now we're going to knit 2 stitches, knit 1, knit 2, and we do another cable to left. grab your cable needle, this first stitch, go in like you're purling, take it off and hold it to the front, knit the next stitch, the stitch that you pulled off, put it back on your right hand needle, and then knit that stitch. Now there are some people who will knit off of the cable needle. I don't like to do it, that's why I don't. Okay, all right, so the next one is a cable to right. So what we will do is take this stitch, and when we put it on our cable needle, we're going to hold it to the back this time. And then we're going to knit this stitch, take the stitch from the cable needle, put it back on the right hand needle. I'm sorry, left hand needle, and then knit that stitch. Do you see how that makes the stitch or the cable look like it leans to the right? You guys see that? Now, this particular term, cable to right, cable to left, that is not necessarily a standard term. I've heard this called a left cable. I've heard the other one called a right cable. I've heard these called cable one left, cable one right. I've heard these twisted cables. There are so many different terms when it comes to cables that it's important you look up the terminology for the cables of whatever you will be doing. Now, in my pattern, I wrote it down where you see in the chart, it gives you the definition of what a cable to left and a cable to right is. After this video, I'll go and I'll add it to the, actually, I think that's sufficient enough. But overall, when you're getting to a pattern that has you do cables, you always want to make sure you are looking up what the cables are that the designer wants you to do. Does that make sense? It's just not a standard thing. So it's like, if there's a designer that, give me an example, Robin, for a crochet, like something that's not a standard.
About clusters.
Okay. Like some people, okay, so like a cluster or a shell. Like a shell could be, yeah, it could be 3 double crochets or 5 double crochets or 7 double crochets could be a shell. So you have to know exactly what the designer wants you to do for shells. Or like Robin said, a cluster. If you're having a cluster stitch, you have to know what that cluster is because it's not a standard, right? So cables are not necessarily a standard as far as what they're called. So you always want to look them up. Does that make sense? All right. So that is what we just did right there. Those are 8 stitches. That's a stitch multiple. At this point, if you wanted to use a stitch marker to separate your repeats around for the cables, you could. Just remember on round 7, you'll have to remove all of them because it skips over one, okay? So you could put a marker there to be like, okay, that's 1 repeat, and then you're gonna do another. So we're gonna do a cable to left, which means we're gonna take our cable needle, go into the next stitch like to purl, take it off, hold it to the front, knit the next stitch, take this, put it back to your needle, and knit that one. So you're just changing their position. And that's all that a cable stitch is, you guys. Whether it's 2 stitches, 4 stitches, 6 stitches, you're just changing the position of the stitches. Just like if we were doing crochet cables, like if these were crochet stitches and we were doing a crochet cable, we would work the first 2 stitches into these 2, right? So if we were looking at these 4, we could do a double there and a double there. And then we would decide if we were going to go in front of those to go to these 2 or behind those 2 we just created to go to these 2. We just changed their position. We just made it look like a cross. That's essentially what we're doing here. Okay. So I did a cable to left. I knit 2. I have to do another cable to left. So I'm going to bring it forward, knit 1, put that to the back or put it back on and then knit 1. And now I have to do a cable to right. So I put this on the cable needle, hold it to the back, knit 1, put the stitch from the cable needle back on the needle and knit it. Now, if you don't have a cable needle, honestly, a double pointed needle works really great. So you could use a double pointed needle also. Or if you don't want to use a cable needle, you just want to be brave and cable without a cable needle, which is how I do it, and it ends up being way faster. This is how you would do it. All right, so that's the end of another repeat. So if we were putting a stitch marker, this is where we would put it. And remember, on round 7, those would be moved because the cable stitch on round 7 would actually be this stitch right here and this stitch right here. So you'd have to move this marker. Okay, so we're going to do another repeat. I'm going to show you this time how to do it without a cable needle. You ready? We want this stitch in front of that one. I'm going to take my right hand needle. I'm going to go behind. I'm putting it into the back leg of that second stitch. You see it? I'm going to pinch down here at the bottom. I'm going to take both stitches off my left hand needle. Then I take my left hand needle, go in front of the stitch, and put the one that's kind of laying out there back on. The one that's I've moved, I put it back on. So I've essentially just changed their places. Now I just knit them. Knit 1 and 2. Then you knit 2 stitches, and we're gonna do it again. Okay, so my ultimate goal here, I want this stitch in front of that stitch. So I could even take this off and say, okay, I want that stitch on first. Oh, it just popped down and I didn't want it to pop down. This is why I do it the other way. And then there's the second one. I'm gonna do that again. Let me put them back on. Make sure they're on there correctly. Because I have them backwards right now. All right. There we are. I want this stitch in front of that one. So I'll take my right hand needle, go to the second stitch. If this was a 4-stitch cable, I would be putting my right hand needle through both stitches or whatever. So we're just doing 2 stitches. That's why I'm only going through 1. When I drop this stitch and this one, it's going to place this stitch on the right hand needle. This one's going to be free. Okay. So now the free one, I'm going to put back on my left hand needle. And I'm essentially moving the one that I caught that was in second position, move it to the front and knit those 2. So I change their position. Now I do a cable right. It means I want the second stitch to go in front of the first one. So this time I go to the front, grab that. Same thing, I pull them both off, put the one that's free out there, put it on the left hand needle. The one that I grabbed, that was the second, put it in front, and then knit each one. I'm just changing their position. Okay, and I could put a marker there if I want to. I don't need to, so I'm just going to keep going. Everybody with me so far? Okay, I'm going to see here. No, you don't need a cable needle holder. You can use a DPN. Exactly. Oh, I didn't even know you guys were asking that. Yep, you can absolutely use a DPN. It looks so scary. It's not scary at all. Using a cable needle or something similar seems easier and safer. It is, I guess, but it's slower. And you guys know me, I don't like going slow. So I prefer to not use a cable needle. So for the rest of this, I won't use a cable needle. So I just go like this, put that on, and knit 2, do another cable 2 left, and then do a cable 2 right. This technique was actually very helpful to everybody who was making the turkey trot because we were doing what's called a honeycomb. And it gets very, very tedious to work through the whole row, what we were working on with cables, with the cable needle. It's just like, oh my gosh, it just takes forever. So anyways, That's how that is. Just makes it super easy. It's a little bit trickier if you have a whole lot of stitches that you're doing the cable, or if you have a very slippery yarn. It's not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Let's see, I just did a left, so this one's a right. You guys can see it's just changing their position. Then I have to do another left. Then I knit two. Then I do a right. Nope, I do a left. Now I do a right. Now I do a left. Another thing about cables, as I'm just going around here, cables tend to pull in on the fabric. So these cables don't pull in nearly as much as if we were doing like a cable twist or a rope or a cord or a braid. But if you're doing something with cables, you need to make sure, if you're designing it, that you compensate for that pull in, because it changes the gauge. It's completely different from a stockinette stitch gauge. These ones don't pull in too much, but increasing up to the 104 stitches versus going down to the 96 stitches when we were working to get to a multiple of 8, going up to the 104 gave us the room we needed for this particular gauge with the cables, because it pulls in just a little bit. So that is important to remember. And then when we go to the crown of the hat, we're going to go back to seed stitch, because I think that's just awesome. And it's a great way to really pull in one of the stitches that we used on the cowl. Again, because it's a complementary hat, you know, so I like the idea of pulling in the seed stitch for the crown. And seed stitch has a wider gauge, so we're going to decrease back down stitches, so that'll work for us. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. I'm just going around here. I know you guys like to see me work around the hat with you, so I hope that it was all right. I worked through rounds 1 through 8 to begin with, and then I'm doing the last 4 stitch or 4 round repeats, so that way you can see how this is done. Because once you really have this, guys, you're going to be just fine all the other rounds. The only tricky part is when you get to that round 7, where you have to go between the cables to make it all work. All right, so knit 2, so left. Feels like it takes forever to get around, but it's lucky number 13 repeats, so that's good. All right. It's tricky not to have Chrissy or Catherine here to help me answer questions in the chat room, because as I'm doing cables, I can't do cables without looking, so I can't really look up at the chat without just stopping. Let's see, that's a left, right, left, and then 2, then a left, right. You guys see why I never use a cable needle? It just goes so much faster for me not having to put stitches on a cable needle. I just keep moving along. And it's really helpful when you have needles that are really pointy to get into those stitches. Makes it great. All right, so left, right, left, knit 2, left, right, left. You guys know how nice it is to be able to knit continental and nobody complains, because you guys are all also continental. Well, I should say a majority of you are. A majority of you are, which is great. Alrighty. Knit 2. Almost the end of this round. The other thing to mention about cables is typically with cables, you will work the number of rounds. How do I say this? If you have a 4-stitch cable, you only actually do the cable twist every 4th round. If you have a 6-stitch cable, you do the cable twist every 6th round. If you have an 8-stitch cable, every 8th round. That's usually like the rule of thumb. The only thing when that's different is if you have like traveling stitches or you have some sort of a special cable technique or something happening. With this one, we have a cable every other round because we just have 2 stitches, so it makes sense, which is very similar to the idea of traveling stitches. It's just the 2 stitches. What do we have? Left, right, left, and then 2, and then left. So anyways, we only have 2 stitches, which makes sense that we would do a cable every 2 rounds, which makes it work out very well for us. All right. So once you finish a cable round, then you would do a knit round. So then you get sort of this relaxation round of just knitting. All right. I'm going to remove my markers separating my 2. But here's the kicker, guys. If you have these markers in place, and let's say you're on round 7, and round 7 is where you have to create a cable with that stitch there and that stitch there. So what you could do, let's say it's a right stitch cable, you could pick this one up, and when you drop that off, drop your stitch marker off too, and then switch their places. And then when you knit the first one, grab the marker, put it on, and then knit the second. That's how you'll have to do round 7. Does that make sense? Whether you have the markers separating all your repeats, but that's definitely how you'll have to do it down here at the end of your round. Okay, I'm going to take that off because that is not what this stitch is supposed to be right here. And it will mess things up. So it's just supposed to be knit. So right here, I'm just knitting. All right, so I'm going to look up here. Catherine's here. Yay! Catherine, do you want to be on live with me? If you do, I can send you the invite. I'll actually send you the invite just in case you want to. Let me copy it here. I'm going to put it in our Facebook chat, Facebook chat so you can see. There we go. All right, so it's in there. If you join in, let me know. I'll add you in. I'm just going to knit this round. It looks like Julia's doing a great job out there. Let's see here. Everybody's saying, welcome, Catherine. Welcome, welcome. It's hard to look up and read the chat when I'm doing that cable round. So I am sorry, Catherine. I am so sorry. It makes it really tricky. Okay, I'm going to just keep scooching around here. Let's see what else you guys have to say. I don't know what's going on. Catherine says she's making a change, and I don't know what she's changing. So, oh, it's lesson 14? Is it? I thought it was lesson 13, because didn't we have lesson 12 continued? Oh, it must be 14. I've been saying 13 all day, y'all. Jeez, of course. Yeah, I can change that. I'll change it on the video. Sorry, guys. I'm losing my mind, y'all. I'm losing my mind. Catherine says, I'm going to skip the live portion tonight. I don't really care that I'm a hot mess, but my dog is currently climbing on the table and making a ruckus. I understand. I understand. It's lesson 14. All right, I can change that. I'll just pause here for a second. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to change this. I'm losing my mind, Robin. Losing my mind. Lesson 14. It's because it just doesn't feel like it should be 14. And then I'll have to change the URL afterwards. I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. And then we'll have to change that afterwards. But I did change the title. So it says lesson 14. All right. Catherine, it doesn't feel like it should be lesson 14. Nuts. All right. So this is my round 2. I'm going to do round 3, which is another cable round, but it's sort of a cable light round, I think. Doesn't feel like there's as many. I mean, maybe that's just in my head. And then I will have another knit round, and I will then be ready to change colors and get to the crown of the hat, because I think my hat is definitely long enough. It's definitely wide enough. It's kind of a big slouchy, not too slouchy, but it's definitely a nice hat. And then once I block it, that'll be perfect. I always wash and block my chic sheet because it just makes it look so lovely. I love blocking stuff. And I like to use the Eucalyptus Midnight Jasmine, I think, or jasmine scent or whatever. It smells really good. Okay. At the end of my round, Julia's on top of it. I need Julia to be here more often. I need a little Julia in my life. Okay, let's get back to the instructions, and we're going to round 3. Round 3 is where I will knit 1. So I knit 1 stitch, and then I'm gonna cable left, knit 2 stitches, cable right. You see? So that's going to be what your cable bit looks like. It's very subtle, and it's because I have the knits on either side of the cables. I didn't do purls. And the reason I didn't do purls is because I didn't do purls down here. I debated it, but I was like, I'm just going to keep it all knit and then do those cables and keep it all look relatively similar. But if we had done purls in here and just had the stitch that was always on top be a knit, but then the stitch that was always behind be a purl, these would pop even more off the fabric. But I liked the way that looks. Usually in cable patterns, you will see that they have either a garter stitch or a seed stitch or purls on either side of the actual cable, because that makes it pop off the fabric more. But I didn't want that on this hat. That's why I didn't do it. And I honestly just felt like you learning how to do a cable was important, and the look of the hat was equally important. And so it was like, it didn't need to be one or the other. Did you see here how it looks like little triangles? Just cool. It just looks like it all complements each other. Believe it or not, you guys, it takes a lot of time to plan this kind of stuff out, to plan out the stitches. Okay, so let's see here. This was cable right and then knit 1. So that was the end of my repeat. I can always check because it should be 8 stitches. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, so here we are. So I knit 1, do a left, and then knit 2, do a right. So from here on out, I can think of it as 2 left, 2 right, right? So 2, and then a left, and then 2, and then a right. You know what's exciting, guys, is after the video tonight, I get to go and film another video with Robin, and it's all about choosing colors for when you're putting colors together for something. So like, we're going to help people choose colors, whether it's colors that are very close in hue, or if you're doing big, bold colors, we're going to have a lot of fun doing that. But I have to do that tonight after we do our little class here. So I'm going to make sure I get you through this part and then get you started on the crown. And then I got to go film some more classes for the BiCrafty Champions workshop. So much fun. I'm curious, how many of you are excited about that? How many of you are like, I can't wait to see the details about it, and then I'll decide if I want to be a part of it. The details and the opportunity to purchase the workshop at a discounted rate will be available on July 12th. So make sure you stay tuned on July 12th. That's when all the details about the BiCrafty Champions workshop are going to happen. We're going to release everything on the 12th as far as being able to purchase. If you didn't purchase the BiCrafty Games box, then in order to participate with the BiCrafty Champions shawl, you have to purchase the workshop. So this is a knit along and crochet along that is like souped up, guys. So it's one of the first ones I've ever done that is a paid for knit along, crochet along, that I'm telling you guys, it's 100% worth it. The instructions, the videos, the content, it's amazing. And like I said, on July 12th, that is when we're going to make it available at a discounted rate only until Friday the 16th, because the Olympics start on the 17th. And that's when we will be releasing like the first section, because the Champions shawl is being released in little bits as we watch the Olympics, but it definitely is content that you would want to use and keep beyond the Olympics. It is not like Olympic oriented or anything along those lines. We just happen to be following along with that schedule for the initial release. And after that, we will have it all available to you and it'll all be out there. It's good stuff. It's going to be fantastic for all you BiCrafty people out there, because not only do you get the crochet shawl, you also get the knit shawl. So now that you guys are BiCrafty, I mean, you're getting so much bang for your buck as you get these workshops. I mean, anything we do, anything we do. I sound ridiculous.
Tell them how many videos there are.
Well, there's at least 15 videos, and each like 15 videos for crochet.
And we're not talking like 5-minute videos.
No, they're like intense videos. Intense
like
videos.
15 classes.
15. It is like 15 classes. At least. Like every time we start kind of brainstorming even more, we always are like, oh, we should do another class. We should do a lesson on this. And so there's at least 15 for crochet, at least 15 for knitting. So this is intense, super intense. But you guys know how we roll. I mean, we're going to hold your hand through the whole process. So you'll be able to complete this without any trouble. It uses fingering weight yarn. If you get the box, you'll get all the yarn you need from the box. You can open the stuff each day, sort of like an Advent box. Otherwise, when you get the class, we'll tell you, or the workshop, we'll tell you everything you need along the way. So there's no trouble. You're going to be great. You're going to do awesome. You're going to love it. People are going to be like, I cannot believe you just started knitting, or I can't believe you just started crocheting. Like, it's pretty darn amazing. It's good stuff, if I say so myself. All right. Plus the yarn we're using is pretty awesome. I mean, we're making it out of destination yarn, and then we're making a sample on the video camera with Knit Picks yarn, so that way you guys can see the stitches better, because the destination yarn is a fingering weight. So we're using a DK on camera so you can see the stitches. So it's pretty amazing. I love it. I'm really hoping that Robin loves me enough to give me her DK sample that she's making, because it's just the colors of the high school. I know she wants to. It's too big for her. I mean, she's only like 5 foot, and half of it right now is already 5 foot. So it's obviously too big for her. Obviously. Guys, it's kind of funny today. She wore my Creekside Ruana. You guys know it's the turkey trot Ruana. And it looked like she was wearing a blanket, y'all. It was hilarious. On camera, it looks fantastic. But when she stands up and shows you, oh man, it's so hilarious. Because I'm 5'10". She's like, what are you, like 5'2"? Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's 5'2".
That's what I say I am.
Yeah.
I'm not 5'2".
You're not 5'2"?
I'm smaller than that, but I tell everybody.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That doesn't shock me.
My tippy toes a little bit.
Oh my gosh. She is muy pequeño. But yeah, so I'm 5'10". And then, I mean, then you have everybody in my house. My daughter's 5'8". My husband's 6'2", Caden's 6'2.5", Josiah's 6'3", and then there's little tiny Robin. She's like, and I'm coming in. Little tiny thing. All right, so you saw I got to the end, and it ends with that knit one. But this, you guys, this is the completion of all the cables as you work them. Obviously, I have one more knit round to do, but it's just knit. But you can see it's a fractured lattice. That's where it looks really cool. And I could have done a full 8 repeats, but I wanted this section to be approximately the same size as this one, which is approximately the same size as this one. So if you wanted to do 8, you could. You don't have to stop at 4. It's up to you, but I stopped at 8, or I stopped at 4. So I did 8, and then I did 4 more rounds. And now it's just a knit round. Okay, so I'm going to do this whole knit round. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to peek up here at the chat, because as I'm knitting, I can look at the chat. And then I'm going to have you all look at the chart. There's a lady here. Julia is 5'3". Jack is 5'3". Brianna thinks that the hat is beautiful. I think it is too. Robin, you have to come look. I used Robin as a consultant, you guys, to decide whether I should stop on round 4 or round 8, because I was like, I think I need another round, and I think it should be on 4 instead of 8. And she was like, I agree. How pretty.
Oh, look
Isn't
how
that good?
beautiful that looks. I love this. Look at that. Look.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Oh, I love how that crosses, because it looks like a triangle upside down, and then it goes right with this.
It's like I'm a designer or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Like a good one.
Man, I got everybody fooled. Oh my gosh. I like it.
It looks really pretty.
I think so too. Yeah. So then I'm going to bring it out with, or finish it off with seed stitch at the crown.
Oh, guys, that's going to be amazing.
I like it.
Great project.
Thank you. I'd say you could do it all in one color, y'all, but obviously you can't with the Latvian braid and the stranded. I mean, I guess you could do this section with like the blue if you wanted to. But it might, I don't know, it might all look too close together. I like the 2 colors. I like that it brought in the purple some more.
Yeah. Yeah, you could add more colors.
I'm all about the colors. Cindy Gold is 4'11".
Nice.
They're saying that we're silly because we're saying we pretend. Hey, we pretend to be designers on TV. That's what we do. It's like I play a doctor on TV. Oh, goodness.
The longer we do this, the more I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh, preach. All the time. There's so many different ways to do something. Like, you get a couple of those designers out there who are just so, I don't want to say pretentious, like you can only do it this way, or I only recommend doing it this way. There's only a few things that I feel that strongly about. Like, you and I differ on this. I'm totally against crocheting ends, like crocheting over your ends.
Oh yeah. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I am so against it. I need to block my eyes. I'm so against it. But I know you do it, and I'm like,
time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much. But like I said, there's just a few things that people are like super like, you can only do it this way. You can only do it this way. It's like, come on. So anyways.
That goes the same for knitting.
It does.
Everyone who's like, you can only do continental, you can only do English. No.
Yeah. Nope. You could do anything. You could do combination. You could do Portuguese. I mean, there's so many different ways.
There's so many different ways because it's what works for you.
Right.
And you got to try them on to find out what your favorite one is.
Yeah. Laura Reagan says, you guys are amazing. I got to learn the no cable thing. Yeah. The cable with no cable needle. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
It's life-changing.
It is life-changing. You know who taught me that? Annie Modisette.
Yep. Me too.
Yep. Annie Modisette taught me how to cable without a cable needle.
Best teacher ever.
She really is. Fantastic. Miss her. Okay. So you guys remember I told you that you would need 3 balls of yarn, 2 for your cowl, 1 for your hat. So this was what was left of my second ball of yarn for my cowl. And obviously I have quite a bit left for my hat here with the blue, but that's right on. That's what we need. So I've cut my purple, getting ready to start the crown. I'm going to continue on with my blue. And when I do this, you know what, on that last round, I think I was supposed to decrease and I forgot. I'm going to do it. Oh man, I'm supposed to decrease. This will be down to 100 stitches. So you know what, I'm just going to get rid of 4 stitches around here. On that last knit round, y'all, you're supposed to get rid of those 4 stitches so you get back to 100. I forgot because I was not paying attention. Because that's how we go. Because I'm talking to you. I'm totally blaming you. So I'm not gonna undo it. I'm just gonna throw in some extra decreases and we'll make it work. Okay. So when you change colors here, we're gonna shape the crowns. And what we're going to do is we're going to decrease 10 stitches at a time as we begin to shape the crown. And when the stitches become too tight to fit evenly or nicely or smoothly or easily on our circulars, we're going to switch to double pointed needles. Okay. So I'm supposed to purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1 all the way. So 4 times and then purl 2 together and then knit 2 together. So I'm just going to randomly throughout here throw in an extra knit 2 together, I think, just to make it work. Okay. So I'm supposed to purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. So that should be 8 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now I'm supposed to purl 2 together and then knit 2 together. So I bring my yarn forward, purl 2 together, bring my yarn back, knit 2 together. So that was 1 time. Okay. Then I'm supposed to purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2. I'm supposed to purl 1, but I'm going to do that decrease here to get rid of 1 stitch. So that's my purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4. And that's the end of that repeat. It's a full repeat. Did I do that right? Making sure, because I got rid of 2 stitches. Because we did well, I got rid of 3 stitches because I did the extra. So you know what I'm going to do here, because we're doing this live. This is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep this here. So I got rid of 1, 2, 3 stitches, because ultimately I want to get rid of 10 plus 4. So I'm just going to keep track here. So I'm supposed to purl 1, knit 1. I'm going to get rid of another stitch here. So this is going to be my purl 1, knit 1, but I got rid of 1, so I'm going to get rid of it. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. I'm going to use that.
See, I lost track. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Then that was purl 2, knit 2. And then 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, so that was the end of the repeat. And then 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then this is purl 2 and knit 2. So that's the 2. And then there's 2. I'm going to get rid of another one. There's 4, 6, 8. I need to make sure I mark the one I just got rid of. And that's the end of the second repeat. So when it says 4 times, so that was 2 times, right? So it says 4 times more. So I'm going to do it total of 5 times. So that was 2 times. So that's 2 times. All right. Is confusing anybody else? 1, 2, 3, 4, purl 2, and knit 2. Oh, you know what, you guys? This first round, I'm supposed to be knit. Okay. It's just late. That's the problem. I'm getting rid of these. I'm supposed to knit 1 full round with my blue. And that's what I'm supposed to decrease those 4 stitches. And I got confused, counted my round 4 as that knit round that I thought was supposed to decrease. And that's not true. So see, even I can't read my own instructions because I'm losing my mind. So I'm just unknitting what I did. So disregard everything. This would be typically the point in a video that I would stop and then erase all of this so you guys never see this. But hey, we're live. That's the battle with being live. So you would finish round 4, which is just a knit round, which is with the purple. And then the next round is where you change colors. The next round would be change colors. So you would knit 1 full round with the blue, and you wouldn't just knit that round, you would decrease those 4 stitches. You make sure that's all written in there correctly for you. I need to make sure. Hey, Catherine, if you're watching, can you see on the Google Doc? I'm going to highlight and tag you. You're going to see that you need to move where it says to cut the color. You're going to move that up above the next round where it says next round and then crown. Above next round, it should say cut contrasting color, change to main color. So I'm going to tag you in the Google Doc. You guys with me on this? Assigned to Catherine. All right, so Catherine, hopefully you see that. I'm going to keep switching here. This is why we love watching you live, because it reminds us you're human. Yeah, I'm totally human, y'all. This is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be that after round 4, you change colors, and then you do your knit round with those decreases, and then you go into the crown. That's what it was supposed to be. But obviously, I didn't do that because I wasn't paying attention and I didn't do it right. But this will make better sense because I won't have to use this anymore. And I won't confuse you guys. So those of you who just watched all that last like 10 minutes or whatever, and now we're undoing it, sorry. I apologize. Crap happens. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to essentially knit 24 and then knit 2 together. All right, there we are. I'm back to 100 stitches. Oh, now we're following the pattern. Okay. Okay, here we are. Jacqueline Richards is saying, are these written instructions posted so we can go do this after we watch you? Absolutely. The link is in the video description box below. If I need to change that link later, I can do that. If Catherine changes the permalink, we can do that, but I'm sure she'll do a redirect with what's written in there. So it will all work out. Okay, now I get to do round one of the crown. Remember that as these stitches get fewer and fewer, they won't fit evenly around our needles here. So we will be switching to double points. And I'm going to bring in my prim needle points just to show you what they look like. But here we go. I'm going to create a seed stitch pattern. So you guys know how seed stitch goes. It's purl one, knit one. So we're going to do a purl one, knit one set for 4 times. So purl one, knit one, 1, purl one, knit one, 2, purl one, knit one, 3, purl one, knit one, 4, purl one, knit one, 5. I didn't want that. I wanted 4. I even said 4. And then I'm supposed to be doing a purl 2 together, then a knit 2 together. Okay. And then a purl 1, knit 1 4 times again. So purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, and that's 1 repeat. So that got rid of 2 stitches. So I can get rid of that. So that's 2 stitches if you want to keep track of yourself. Okay. So here we go again. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, and that got rid of 2 more. Okay, we're going to ultimately get rid of 10 stitches. So this part of the hat obviously goes a lot faster. So purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together. So that was 2 more. Did I forget 2? I think I just did 2 others, didn't I? I don't know. This is why I can't keep track of things. So those were, so okay. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2. I totally talk to myself like this. Purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4. Did I mess up? How am I left with 4 stitches? All right, guys, did I mess up? Losing my mind, Robin. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 76, 78, 80, 82, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. How the heck did that happen? I don't know. Where did I mess up, y'all? What did I do? You just did a purl 1, knit 1, 4. Did I miss that? I must have decreased something somewhere. All right, let me do this. Okay, here's how I would go to look for my mistake. So there's a purl 1, knit 1. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1. Here, that's 1 repeat. This is how I check myself, y'all. I must have decreased extra somewhere in there on accident because I just wasn't paying attention, which is probably how I messed up there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, purl 2, knit 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's do these. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here, I was supposed to do another 4, right? So that's where I messed up. So I need to come back to this. So I did extra decrease. That's why I'm off. So I need to tink back to this. Whew. And you guys get to see me tink some more. So I'm just going to tink back to that part because that's where I was supposed to, I think. I'm just going to tink back to that and just go from there. I'm going to go to the repeat and work it again. No big deal. Anybody else? This is like the perfect example of how my last 2 days have gone. Just 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Anybody else relate? Yeah, Jan says I decreased 2 extra times. Yeah, I just got really overeager. All right, so let's check this one more time before I don't have to rip back. So here's my marker. Here's the first repeat. The decrease is right there. Here's the second repeat. The decrease is right there. Here is the start of the third. Okay, so here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8. Purl 2. Knit 2. And then purl 1, knit 1, 1. Purl 1, knit 1, 2. Purl 1, knit 1, 3. Purl 1, knit 1, 4. Marker. All right, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4. End of the repeat. There we go. I'm on a roll now. This is going to come out right this time. Okay. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4, and we have success. Woo woo! Everybody take a shot. Just joking. Okay, there we are. So we're down to 90 stitches. I had to mark my repeats, but that's all right. That works. So on the next round, I'm supposed to continue in the established seed stitch pattern. And if you've forgotten, remember for seed stitch, if you see a purl, you knit it. If you see a knit, you purl it. So I see a purl, I'm going to knit. I see a knit, I'm going to purl. So I'm going to just continue on in this manner. I'll leave my stitch markers in place. Might as well. Let's see. Purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and purl, knit, and purl, and knit, and purl. You see, by doing the purl together and the knit together side by side, that allows us to maintain that seed stitch pattern without any trouble. All right, knit, purl, knit, purl, so on and so forth, all the way around. Okay, so I'm looking at you guys. Woohoo, we made it. I see that. You guys are just as excited as I am about making sure everything came out correctly. But you can see, even me saying things out loud, I have messed up. But you also got to see the way I process through the entire round to figure out where I went wrong. I read my stitches and tink back and correct. Just knitting can be fixed. It's not the end of the world. Right? We've all learned that. Okay, keep going here. I know I'm going quickly, but you guys know how to do knits and purls at this point. I mean, if this was a normal old YouTube video, I'd be fast forwarding through this part so you guys didn't have to watch. So I apologize. Knit and purl, knit and purl, knit and purl. I think on the next round, even though my stitches are not so snug that they need to be switched to double point, I'm going to do it on the next round so you can see how it's done. And then I'm just going to let you guys continue on working with those double points around. So that way you're not here for another hour on end. But it's pretty simple stuff. Getting to the double points. And then before I go, I do want to show you the chart, the knit chart for those cables, so you can understand the way the stitch repeat is, because since the cable has to be worked, you know, on either side of that stitch marker at the beginning, it shows that in the chart. And I want to show you how that works. So you can see. Just shows you the stitch repeat. All right, so that's my full round of just doing the seed stitch. So I maintain the seed stitch pattern. And now I continue on maintaining the seed stitch pattern, but this time we're going to work it'll be purl one, knit one 3 times instead of 4 times. Does that make sense? All right, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna pretend that it's time to switch to our double pointed needles. And so I'm gonna bring in our prim needles. So this here, I don't know if I showed you guys this before, but this is a Dpn Roll. It works for double pointed needles and crochet hooks. It's from Erin Lane Bags. I've put a link in the video description box below. The best thing about this is this strap. It has a magnet inside here, and this magnet slides, okay? And the reason the magnet slides is the other half of the magnet is over here. So as you fill up your roll and you have a lot of needles in there, you have all the space you need to accommodate that. But as your needles don't take up all that space, you simply pull on the strap and the magnet slides as the strap tightens, so it doesn't go anywhere. I have so many of these. I use them for knitting and crochet. So I use them for my knitting double points and my crochet hooks. So here are all of my prim double points. So I'm going to pull out my size 8 because that's the size needle I'm using. Now I will be honest, typically I will use the same double point brand as I'm using for my circular needles if I have them. And I do have them for the signatures, but I want to show you how these prims will work because they're so lovely with that like ball type thing at the end we've already discussed before. So I'm going to go ahead and use those. Roll up my case so it's out of the way. Gotta move my, there we go. Okay, here's how we're gonna do this. So it's going to be impossible to keep this marker on, right? So what you can do here, if you need to remember what the start of your round is, take a marker and just like underneath that last stitch, just mark it, like mark that. So that way you know whenever you get back to that last stitch here, when we use it on the other needle, you know that's the end of your round, okay? If you haven't woven in your tails, you can also tell by it's where your tail is, okay? We are going to transfer onto our double pointed needles from our circular needles as we work this next round. And just like when we transferred over from our size 7 needles to our size 8s, we're going to do the same thing. I'm moving my right hand needle out of the way. I'm going to replace it with the right hand needle of a double point, and I'm going to continue on with my pattern. So I'm going to purl 2, so purl 1, purl 2. So that's 1, purl 1, purl 2, 2, purl 1, purl 2, 3. Now I purl 2 together and knit 2 together. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3. Is that right? And then, ooh, is my count off? Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, and then I have purl 1, knit 1, 4. I think my count is off on the instructions. Can that be? You guys, math people, help me out. Am I messing up? What did I do? What did I do? I'm going to keep going here. I'm just going to leave that there. So I'm going to remove my marker. I'll leave that one on there. I'll grab another one just because if I kept it in this manner, I would need 6 needles. So at some point, I'm going to have to combine 2 sets of my stitches on one. But right here, this would be purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3. So this would be purl 2 together and then knit 2 together. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 1, knit 1, 4. Apparently, I was miscounting on the instructions, so I gotta switch that. I'm gonna have to fix the crown instructions, y'all. Hopefully, those of you who are catching this on the replay will have the fixed instructions. I don't know what I did with these numbers. I don't know why I came up goofy. All right, so this would be, actually, I'm going to put a marker there because that was the end of that repeat. Purl 1, knit 1, 1, purl 1, knit 1, 2, purl 1, knit 1, 3, purl 2 together, knit 2 together. So that's a lot of stitches on that one, but it's all right. I want to leave it. I'm gonna put it on 3 just because why not? I'm got the space, I can do it. So there's 1, 2, 3, together, 2 together, 1, 2, 3. Yep. So right here, now my circular needle is free. I have 3 needles in play. I could switch this up and make it so I have 4 needles all going on in here, but 3 works. My needles are nice and long. So on this round, I'm going to knit, or not knit, but keep my seed stitch pattern and work it all the way around. So I will just make sure that at my points where the 2 needles come together, you want to make sure they're nice and snug. So I do that by making sure I really pull the first 2 stitches on the needle really nice and tight, and it keeps the stitches on the needle nice and snug. So the other needles are really just hanging out there holding stitches. It's nothing extra special about it. We're coming around. Come over here. Starts with the knit. I think for this one, I will space out these stitches by adding another needle in here. I will go back and recalculate my crown counts. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Sometimes I don't know how I got through high school math, honestly. Oh goodness. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of that marker.
I'm sure you're all screaming the same thing I'm in my head. Oh, Marley.
It's true. That's what I feel
come
like.
on, we all have been there. I used to be a structural engineer, and I still sometimes add 2 + 2, and it does not equal.
I don't know what I mean. I don't know what I was thinking.
All of our brains do that at some time. We just skip over the numbers, and
Is that it?
yeah, your brain just it's already thinking that you already did it. We've all been there.
Yeah, I don't
Totally
know.
happens.
I don't know what the heck I was thinking.
I've edited enough people's patterns. It happens all the time. to Everybody.
Well, here's the kicker. I've had somebody edit this crown instruction, these crowns instructions from another pattern of mine, and it wasn't caught. So what'd you say?
As long as it wasn't me who edited
It wasn't you. It wasn't you. So I don't know what's going on, but it's all right. I mean, essentially, guys, you're just keeping the seed stitch, and as long as you're getting rid of 10 stitches each round, that's all you need to do. That's basically all you're doing. So I got to the end of the round. No, I didn't. It's over there. Let's get to the end of the round. I'm going to have to make sure I fix this on the matchy hat also, because I think I have the same instructions on the matchy hat. So I'll have to fix those. Just as a side note, everybody. You can see I'm just keeping the seed stitch pattern. And as I go from one needle to the next, I simply just have the empty needle in my right hand, the needle with all the stitches in my left hand, and I make sure the first stitch of the round is just nice and snug to the other stitch that I did on the last. I shouldn't say the first stitch on each needle. I want it nice and snug to the last stitch on the previous needle. And to do that, I make sure these first 2 stitches are pulled nice and snug. Okay, so for this one, if we continue on with our decrease, it's still going to be purl 2, knit 2, and then purl 2 together, knit 2 together, purl 2, oh, not purl 2, purl 1, knit 1. Did I do that? Yeah, purl 1, knit 1. Can't even talk. Purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. Yeah, I don't know why. You know what I did, Robin? Every time I thought I was decreasing, I just wrote the wrong number on the second half. That's all. Sorry, I was losing my mind.
You figured it out.
I know, but I had to do it live on air, so everybody's watching me figure it out. That's awesome.
And they get to see how your brain works.
Do they? They get to see the total dysfunction of my brain. Yes, that's quality airtime right there. Dysfunction. It's all right. That's what I got you for here, Robin. Come around. You can see as you're working with these double points, again, you just pull it nice and snug, whether it's a purl stitch or a knit stitch to start with. You just maintain your seed stitch. Ultimately, that's what we're doing here, you guys. We're just getting rid of 10 stitches each round, maintaining our seed stitch pattern. Pretty simple. If we wanted to work this in just basic stockinette stitch, all we would want to do is so if we had 100 stitches, we would knit 8 and then knit 2 together. and then knit 8 and then knit 2 together, which I could have done. I just chose not to. Right now, I'm really wishing I had chosen that because I know that by heart. I hope that was one too many. And he says, Marley needs some coffee. Oh, Donna says brilliance in motion. I don't know about that. It's definitely oopsie in motion. It's fantastic. That's what you want. The funny thing is, I gave you the right stitch counts at the end of the rounds. So as long as you don't follow what's written in the instructions, you'll come out just fine. Oh, losing my mind. Just gonna keep going here. Almost to the end of the round. Did I totally miss the decrease? I think I did here. Yep, I just kept on knitting here. Again, losing my mind. See, so 2, 2. This one's supposed to be put together. This supposed to be knit 2 together. And that's the end of my round. So at the end of that round, I should have 60 stitches. I'm not going to sit here and count. I'm going to just keep working. All right, so what did I say? I think I should have 70 here. That's what I have, right? That's what I said I should have. I should have 70. So that's what I have. can't remember if I said 70 or 60, but there you go. You guys, I'm losing my mind. I just got to check it all out. Okay. So was that round 5? That was round 5 I did. Yeah. Everybody with me on that? Anybody remember what I did? Okay. So here we are. My fingers all nimble. I just did a knit round, which I think was round 6. So I think I'm getting ready to start round 7, which I'm pretty sure I think I just do one set, then it's purl 2 together, and then knit 2 together. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, Catherine, there's going to be some corrections here just so that you know. I don't know what the heck I was thinking. So if I were you, I would just pause. And at the end of the video, go to the Google Doc and get the corrected numbers that I am updating, just so that you know. I know I'm being like super quiet, you guys. I'm like counting as I go. All right, so that is the end of round 7. So now I just knit around again. While I'm doing this, how you guys doing? Let me see here. Cool, Catherine says she got it. Rose says, pretty sure the instructions are right. The group split on one round and together the next, so the extra knit purl are accounted for. Rose, they might be. Maybe I'm just losing my mind. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep going because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Maybe I just can't read tonight. Maybe I did write it correctly and I just didn't read correctly. I don't know. Like I said, essentially, y'all, you're just doing a seed stitch at the cap and you're getting rid of 10 stitches around. And in order to do that and maintain the seed stitch pattern, you have to do a purl two together and then a knit two together side by side. Maybe I'll go back and look at the written instructions again of what I did. I don't know, whatever. It'll work out. Like I said, I've had the crown actually tuck edited. So when I cut off on the first one, I was like, what is wrong? What did I do? But it's very possible. Maybe I just wasn't reading right. Rose said I was right. So who knows? Who knows? It's all right, y'all. If I'm just reading these pattern or these instructions incorrectly, Robin, and I'm just making this more difficult for myself, it's quite apparent that the late night instruction giving needs to end for me.
Totally understand.
I'm forgetting you guys have never used double points before. They are a little bit tricky in the sense that it's like hard to wrap your head around it. But honestly, it's just like using circulars. The other needles are just holding stitches, just like the cord of your circular did. So just be patient with them. You're still only using 2 needles. I prefer to use 5 total. I don't like to use just 4. The more breakpoints you have in your work, the less likely you are to get a run. So I think it looks better. That's why I choose to do that. All right, so I'm on round 9 and let's see here. So I'm just not sure what to do. Like, I feel like I should just start off here with the purl 2 together. So that's what I'm going to do. Disregard this. If you're following the instructions on the replay, it will be correct for you. So don't worry. I'm just going to keep going with what I have built up here. I can't go in and actually look at the post the way it is because Catherine is in it right now. So I'm just going by my Google Doc of what I wrote out, but I've already like changed numbers on it. So I feel like I'm all over the place. So I'm just going to go by what I see on my hat. And this is where I should actually be doing a decrease here, if that makes sense to you guys. So just getting rid of the stitches like I'm supposed to get the crown of the hat down to where I need it to be. I'm just going. All right, another round. It's another just plain knit round. So here we go. Jan suggests that if we mess up at the top of the hat, you can just hide it all with a pom-pom. Absolutely. And you know what I just did, y'all? I just knit that round. I'm supposed to do seed stitch. Jeez Louise. Robin, I am messing up constantly. Like, this is awful. Obviously, you guys can see how much I tink. I do it so much, it looks like super fluid. Gosh darn it. At least you guys know you're not the only ones who make mistakes. I do too. I'm just knitting. I stack those. How did I stack those? The first one's supposed to be knit and I purled it. Not my greatest video, everybody. The good news is when I put the BiCrafty workshop in a course, I'm recording all new videos for it. So this will be archived. Jeez Louise. All right. Here we are. So let's just keep on decreasing. So this would be, let's just do purl one. Knit, oops. Knit one, purl one, knit two together, purl two together, knit one, purl one, knit one. Well, that one's correct. Round 11 is correct. I think maybe I just misread at the start, Robin.
Happens.
So, which would mean all my math was correct and I was correcting things that weren't really wrong. But I mean, it's, I don't know.
Yeah, you reread it. And read it wrong once. Wrong with it.
Oh gosh. Goodness gracious. Knit, purl. Let's see, no, purl, knit, purl. Knit two together. Purl two together. Knit, purl, knit. Yep, round 11 is correct, which means I bet the other rounds were right. I don't know, I have to go look. I will go look. I will count. I will have you look and count, Robin. Put her to work, huh? Let's do this. You guys are ever stuck to figure out whether you should do a knit two together or purl two together, always do whatever the second stitch of whatever you're going to do is supposed to be. So like this stitch here. So how do I say this? Maybe I didn't say that right. So I'm supposed to do a knit two together here. Okay, because I just finished with the purl. So that's a knit. So I'm going to knit two together. But then I guess this one doesn't work out because this stitch here is a purl and that's what I need. I'm going to do a purl two together. And that makes it so that I'm back to a knit. If that makes any sense to you guys, to be able to know if you're supposed to knit two together or purl two together, kind of pay attention to what the stitches are you've created, and then we're getting ready to go to. So there's my knit two together. Here's my purl two together. Knit one, purl one, knit one. Yep, row 11 the way, or round 11 the way it's written is correct. I'm just going to keep going. At this point, I might as well. Almost done. A lot of quiet on this video. Sorry, guys. A lot of thinking happening here. This is, Donna says, this is to teach us how to read our stitches and how to count. Is that it? Am I really the best to teach how to count? Because, I mean, it just doesn't look like I did something right there. It looks like I did something. They don't look right. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. Maybe it's because I switched it up and I did a knit two together instead of a purl two together. Maybe. Maybe it looks funny just because. Who knows? Nobody knows. I wonder why I did that. Very weird, y'all. Okay. Sorry. I don't know why it switched. I didn't make it, so here we are. Again, when you're doing these decreases at the top of your hat, you're just maintaining your seed stitch pattern. Do your purl two together, knit two together. Basically, whenever the pattern tells you to, or whenever you feel like it. I essentially just wanted to get rid of 10 stitches on every other round. So I'm going to come back over here and take a look at how round 13 is done. So round 13 is written as a purl one, knit one, purl two together, knit two together. I wonder why I switched from purl two together to knit two together. Like I did them in a different order last time. I don't know why I did that. But for whatever reason, that's what I wrote. That's what I did. Still the seed stitch. Who knows? I think I like this better, where it's purl two and then knit two versus the knit two and then purl two. I like this decrease sequence better. I might go ahead and so that way it looks good. So around 11, I might change that up. It looks better. I think. See how your stitches are just getting smaller and smaller? I shouldn't say this. Your stitch count is getting smaller and smaller. So it makes it easier, faster. And then as you're working with these double points, it just gets easier and easier. It's really not so hard. Double points are not that difficult. It's the end of the round. Time for just a plain Jane round. I know that there's another decrease round here, but I actually think I like the idea of just purling two together, knitting two together, purling two together, knitting two together all the way around, and just getting the decrease done on this round. So I might end up doing that and switching it up. Good news is I'm pretty sure none of you are at this point of the pattern, like right now watching it live. So when you do get to this point, just do what's written in the instructions. It will be correct. And again, not that what's written there isn't correct. It very well could be. I just kind of went rogue. But that's why I'm a designer. I can't even follow my own designs. All right. Yep, that's what I'm going to do on this last round because I have 20 stitches. No, 30 stitches. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. I don't know, whatever. I'm going to work around. I'm going to do purl two together, knit two together. I'm sure I'm off somehow. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to work around. So I'm just doing knit two togethers and purl two togethers all the way around. And no matter what my stitch count is when I get to the end, I'm calling it good. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's quite a few of you that will not make it to this part of the video. It's like, I got this. I don't need to watch all that, which I understand. So just doing rapid decreases, just doing purl two together and then knit two together, and then purl two together and then knit two together. Still maintaining the pattern. Whoop, whoop. I forgot a decrease somewhere. That's all right. All right, so I'm going to call that good. I'm going to cut my tail, leaving it nice and long. Ooh. I'm going to grab a tapestry needle, thread my tail onto it. And as I said, I keep saying this, but there's going to be somebody who fast forwards and doesn't catch it the first time. All of the crown instructions will be corrected by the time you get to that. But when you get down to the number of stitches you're supposed to get to, go into each one as if to purl with your tapestry needle and take it off of your double point and pull the tail through those live stitches. Okay. Let me see here. And just work around the double points just like you normally would. See, I'm like, if this is 12 o'clock, I'm rotating it this way. Sorry for all that noise. It's my kids and my nephews. They're upstairs. They're very loud. Nothing like having 5 boys over 15 at the house. All right. So once all your stitches are finished and you have your tail thread through, pull that really nice and snug. And then what I like to do is I'll go through these one more time. Here's a little tip. You can go through these stitches as you're taking them off the needle as if to knit instead of as if to purl, and it kind of twists the stitch, and I like the way that looks too. Like you can go through them knitwise. I think I'm gonna write that, or I wrote that in the pattern. I think I went into each one purlwise this time. But you just essentially pull them through. So I'm going around the circle, but just like if you were to do an adjustable ring, this will come undone if you don't secure it to the inside. So give it a nice pull. Push this down through the center, just like so. Turn your hat inside out. And then you're gonna make sure you secure your tail to the inside of the hat. So keep it nice and tight, just like you would a magic loop or adjustable ring, and just kind of finish off your tail. I kind of go through some of these just like so. Pop it through. You can add a pom-pom if you want. You don't have to. See that? I might go through one more time. Just make sure it's nice and secure. You don't want it to come undone. Snip it. Leave in your tails. You have a hat. That's pretty good. Put my double points away. And we're going to try this puppy on. So I'm going to turn off my hand cam here, go to my face cam.
Unmute, and so hopefully you are viewing me up here on my face cam. Oh, goodness gracious. While I have this going, let me go ahead and check what you guys are seeing. I'm going to close up my double pointed needle case. Just a second. There we are. I'm here. All right. I gotta take my little stitch marker out of my hat. Robin, can I just tell you, this feels very stressful. So here is my hat, everybody. Here's the hat. There's the top of the hat. It's it's the top of the hat. It looks like the top of a hat, regardless of what my numbers look like compared to anybody. I don't know what the heck I was reading. And then once I block it, it'll be a little bit taller. Do you like it?
Yeah. Thanks.
You like it?
Yeah.
We'll put the seam on the back at least. Like if you're gonna put it on.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, guys. This is awesome.
That's so cute.
How cute is this?
Look at that.
Yeah. See? It's not even blocked. Don't even worry about it. Shh, I didn't say that. You're always supposed to block everything.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna wear it.
Because it's so cold down here. That looks so cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. It's adorable. And oh my goodness, look at all the stuff that you've learned.
Right?
Well,
It's like a interactive swatch. You know what I mean? Like what
it's fabulous.
I like it.
Because learning how to decrease, it doesn't even matter if you were doing it in crochet, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what the heck? I just misread something. I mean, I told them what they're supposed to do. I don't know what the heck I'm going to check those numbers out. I'm
It's
like,
all right.
what was I thinking?
More
I don't
than
know.
likely, it was just you went off once and then it just kept on.
And then that's all that happens?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to take your word for that.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks amazing. You guys did awesome.
Thanks. All right. So they're all saying beautiful and that they're still knitting. Everything's great. Marley swapped the hat for the shawl. Ha! You can have the hat if I can have the shawl. I love that idea, you guys. It's really cute. Jennifer says she never blocks hats. Anything that I make with Chic Sheep, I block. That's essentially, if I'm doing anything with acrylic, as far as a hat or something, I totally don't block it. But when it's Chic Sheep, I absolutely block it. Okay, that's it for lesson 14, not 13, 14. I'm going to go in, check my numbers right now, but hopefully you guys will all finish your hat. Make sure you share with us on social media. Use hashtag MarleyBird or hashtag BiCrafty Bootcamp. Don't forget to stay tuned for the BiCrafty Champions workshop. It's going to be released July 12th. That's how that goes. Yeah, there's over 100 of you in here. I think because you guys wanted to see if I made any more mistakes. I got to try on my own hat because it's cool. I still got to weave in all my tails. All my tails are sitting in there. Oh yeah, that is cute.
I mean,
look at that.
That's fantastic.
And it complements that purple cowl over there.
See, perfect.
Right? It's so perfect. Oh, this is great. I hope you guys love yours as much as I seriously love mine. It's still, you would never know that I went off kilter. Like it looks fine. It's like seed stitch. That's what it's supposed to look like. So you guys can do the same. All right, that's it for me tonight, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow or the weekend or whatever day you're watching this. I hope you have a great tomorrow, and I'll talk to you again real soon.